Hi, it's WSD time here, and welcome to Minecraft Mondays.
Hey Jamie, what's
Yeah,
what's Minecraft this? I think this is 14, right? Yeah,
huh.
dang, 14. Time is flying. Shit. Let's see who's on. Dang, nobody. Dang, us.
It's
Yeah,
just me on the server at the moment,
yeah. Just with Chandler, man. Wish I could get him on the call.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but you know how he is, busy at work and stuff, you know.
yeah. Yep.
He's got to pay his bills, isn't he? Yeah.
Unfortunately, people look at me and say, "Yeah, you're supposed to pay the bills." Yeah, but I have to ask people. I'm gonna ask y'all. Is that? I mean, the way this world is being ran, anybody see a problem with it? That's what I'm questioning.
And I question the relevance of money when, uh, automation is eventually going to phase out most jobs, you know.
Yep. I'm surprised nobody sees that yet.
I mean,
That
I tried mentioning this stuff to people on Facebook, but you know, some people are just too, it's,
thick.
they don't understand,
Yeah.
they don't understand where I'm coming from when I bring up these points, you know.
Yeah. Sure. Don't get me wrong. I understand y'all want the money, but at the same time, that job ain't gonna be there forever. Cause it's starting to already happen. Just like I talked this one truck driver, right? Talked to this one truck driver. He said they're always going to be driving jobs. And I'm up here thinking, like, wait a minute. There's always going to be driving jobs, but yet they're working on some driving cars. Why didn't he put that together? I understand that's going to fuck him in the end.
Yeah. And once they got the kinks worked out with AI cars, you know, like self-driving ones.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I'm telling people, when they get the kinks worked out on that, what is the first thing they're going to do?
Yeah, they're gonna be there's gonna be Johnny Cabs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yep, they're going to take the cabs.
yeah,
They're going to start, yeah, cab drivers, you ain't safe. To the extent.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, just like people are like, oh, they're always gonna need something like investors like mechanics and all that. They ain't gonna always be there.
There will always be a place for educators and engineers, obviously, because
Yes.
these are the most skilled sort of jobs. You need to be highly educated to you know
Yeah.
train people to become engineers or
And that lies the problem.
yeah. Or if you want people to be physicists or biologists or whatever, you need highly educated people to teach people these things, you know.
Yeah. And that
But
lies the problem.
but the fact is, a lot of jobs today, like retail or delivery or shit like that, that stuff could be automated eventually. You know what I mean? Public transport could be automated eventually.
Hmm.
It's just a matter of time. Sorry if my voice sounds funny. I've got a cold, man. So you know. I don't often get sick, but it's just one day that I happen to be ill on.
Yeah. You wanna keep working or you wanna go to
No,
bed? No,
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 I'm alright.
no. I'm talking about Minecraft.
Oh, sorry, no, no, I'm good. You're inside your house, yeah, so you're not gonna get attacked.
Yeah.
But you're just decorating your house at the moment.
At the moment. And right now, before I start digging again, yeah, just wanna finish this up before I start digging again.
Yeah, because I'm gathering some resources. We're going to need a lot of this cobblestone stuff to level out that field.
Yeah. Like I said, once we build the once the factory, like I said, once the factory is done, we'll be cool.
Hmm.
Well, once the engine is done, everything else will come easy because we'll just build off that.
Yeah, I'll have to do some calculations and do the center of the factory first, and then design it on the specs that that you want.
Yeah.
Let's see. You want half slabs at the bottom, right?
Half slabs. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to help you with that.
Actually, like I said, yeah, like I said, half slabs actually saves bricks. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind that when you use half slabs, it actually saves bricks.
I know. You get more materials out of it, yeah. Like more area covered.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
When I try and explain this automation stuff to people, the fact that jobs will eventually be phased out, low skill ones definitely, they're the ones that are going first. You know what I mean? In favor of AI, because companies would find it more profitable to use that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they don't see a problem with that when it comes to capitalism. Yep.
So and if a company can make an extra like 5 billion a year, give or take, just for example, if they can make an extra 5 billion just by phasing out workers for robots that they don't have to pay,
Mhm. What do you think these companies are going to do? See,
yeah,
this is what I'm talking about when it comes to yeah, like I said, when it comes to humanity, you don't seem to think about stuff like this. And when it comes to that, it's just I'm looking at these companies and how their behavior is.
and I hate it when people call Fresco an authoritarian, all that other fucking nonsense. You know what I mean? First of all, right, he didn't even want to get involved in politics.
Yeah,
He didn't believe in it. He didn't believe in the political system. So people are saying he was authoritarian. That's just false. It's just flat out lies.
oh yeah, I know.
But
But people always spin shit.
yeah, I still think we need some form of government, even if we went to a resource-based economy one day. I still think that we're going to need our laws and that because, how are you going to stop people from committing murders and stuff if you've got no prisons? But
Yeah,
I do have some disagreements with Fresco, right? But when it comes to the resource-based economy, he does have a valid point. I mean,
yep.
if most jobs end up being phased out by robots, right? Then how the hell is the monetary system still relevant? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, it's gonna kill itself eventually.
It just doesn't make any sense anymore. People, the argument that people often bring up in regards to keeping the monetary system right is rewarding work ethic and stuff. But how do you reward people who can't even get a job in the first place? You know what I mean?
Exactly. He's already starting to see it now.
Exactly.
Just like I said,
It's just nonsense what they come out with, man.
and those doctors that say, yo, our surgeons, we can't be phased out. You ever heard of a robot called Zeus?
Yeah.
Know what Zeus does, right?
What?
Does surgery.
Yeah.
They shit like that tells me, like, yo, maybe maybe I'm like, maybe we gotta
What I'm
start
trying,
reconsidering the system, man. If you see that, yeah.
what I was trying to say is though, is when they make these arguments against the resource-based economy from Venus Project or Zeitgeist or whatever, you know, they come out of a lot of nonsense oftentimes. You know what I mean? How the hell do you solve the problem of automation taking jobs by keeping a monetary system? How do you do that? I mean, there are some other ideas like basic income and stuff, but
Yeah,
if too many people are unemployed, right?
that ain't gonna be enough.
Exactly, it's just going to create more debt. You know what I mean? It's going to create an over. It's going to create stress in a welfare system. You know,
Yep.
you can't do it that way. You know, it's just not going to work. When that many people are unemployed from automation, you have to come up with a better solution than, oh, we're going to pay these people welfare. You know?
Yeah. A charity,
Yeah,
like that Garland you prick keeps saying.
yeah. Because with the monetary system, right, the money has to come from somewhere. You know, it has to be. It has to be backed by resources. It has to be backed by something. You know.
Yeah. And what Jack Frost was saying is, why
Yeah.
not just skip the middleman and just go right to the resources instead of
Yeah.
going through this middleman?
I understand that people need a safety net, you know, for times of unemployment, man. But the thing is, if that many people are off work, that's going to create a big stress on the welfare system. That's just an undeniable fact, unfortunately. Yeah. And so there will be problems. Yeah. I just keeping the monetary system in technological unemployment. It's just. I don't see how that could work when you've got this debt problem to worry about. And let me tell you something about debt, right? These companies, right, they will want you to pay the debt off eventually. They are going to come and collect the debt. Anything that you borrowed, they want it back. So,
Yep.
and that's another problem right there. You know, they're going to want it back. They'll try. The institutions who let you borrow the money, they'll get it back any way they can.
Yep.
So. That's the reason why I support the Venus Project and the resource-based economy. You know, it's not because I just want free stuff. No, that's not the reason for that.
Nope.
I want real-world solutions to problems that are going to arise in the future.
Yep.
You know.
Like I said.
You know.
Yeah, it's like you said before. Didn't you
Yeah.
say at one time that Star Trek even went to a resource-based economy? They do something similar to a resource. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It would seem that way, but then again, I haven't seen all of Star Trek yet. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
It would seem that way. It's funny. But then again, they are on a Voyager that's, you know, light years away from their home planets.
Yeah, but how will we even accomplish shit like that?
Well, we've still got climate change to deal with before we even think about going to other planets. You know what I mean? We've still got the environmental damage that we've got to clean up. You know?
Yeah, the mess that we created. And right now, currently, are refusing to fix.
I mean, people can disagree with the Venus Project all they want, right? They can say they don't, you know, agree with their methods, or, you know, that type of stuff. But I don't like it when people slander Fresco and Roxanne Meadows. I hate it when people come out of absolute bullshit about them, saying that they're trying to dictate people, you know.
Yeah.
I like Fresco because he believed in equal rights, you know what I mean? He believed that,
True equal rights, yeah.
yeah, he believed that we should use our science and technology to stop poverty, you know.
Climate change.
Yeah, environmental damage. Yeah, we should, you know, we should use the science to the best of our ability. You know?
Yeah.
And it's got to be applied to the social structure as well, you know.
Yeah.
It's, keep trying to tell people, man, it's not just about wanting free shit or, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One way or another, we need a solution to this automation
Like
problem.
I said, yeah, sure. You like free stuff, but yeah, I'd rather fix the real issues, you know.
Due to the nature of the resource-based economy, there would be an absence of a monetary system in that kind of world, right? But the resources still have to come from somewhere. So really, you're not getting anything for free at all. You know, the resources still have to be processed. You know, they still have to be distributed, and you know, someone needs to make the decisions on where those resources go. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. That's really pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we're just trying to fix the real problems that humanity's gonna face. I don't give a fuck how much money you have. If you can't breathe, you can't eat any, if you can't get any food, or you can't get any food, guess what? You're fucked anyway.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to tell that I forgot his fucking name, but that guy that tried to argue with me.
Yeah.
But you know, I forgot his fucking name. I don't memorize idiots, you know, that, you know, comment on my channel, but you know. I tried to tell him.
People who advocate the basic income idea, right?
Yeah.
Or any kind of safety net at all for people who fell on hard times, they will say that we should tax the rich to, you know, make it viable and stuff. But the thing is, there's only so much money that could be put into the system, yeah?
Yep. Like I said, man. I'm like this, I hear people with problems and all that.
Yeah.
It always seems to fucking trace back to that fucking monetary system.
But people forget that money was a human invention, you know? I said to these people, right, who say that the resource-based economy wouldn't work or something along them lines, right? I said to them, okay, what if SpaceX, right, or anyone who's gonna, you know, explore Mars, right? What if they do a resource-based economy on Mars? Yeah? then what? You're going to say that the RBE is impossible then?
Yep.
You know, those people are full of shit. Yeah. That's what I think. If anything, the astronauts might be the first ones to do the resource-based economy in an advanced way. You know.
Yeah.
Not the primitive kind that we had back before trade and money. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the first advanced one where we had machinery and rockets and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Post-industrial era, you know?
Yeah.
I'm talking about that kind of resource-based economy. If they did that on Mars, they would prove the RBE skeptics wrong, you know?
Yep.
And then they'll be confident that the RBE could be done on Earth, you know? If anything, it should be easier here because we've got more resources here.
Yep.
You know? It's just, you know, it's just the establishment that's like preventing stuff like that.
Yep, because it's all about cash with them.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, you know, I'm like, I have to tell y'all. And back to automation. Now, this is why I say it's gonna become obsolete when automation comes into play. Really comes into play. Y'all think these companies are gonna allow y'all to live prosperously without with that monetary system there? Shit. Y'all really think that y'all gonna you really think these companies are gonna take it easy on y'all with that system in play? No.
I've even seen sources saying that the rich created robots to harass the homeless, you know? There's a problem with
See?
Yeah. There's a problem of elitism going on in America, you know? They're misusing technology, man.
Yeah, exactly. What? Yeah.
So if they're gonna use robots for that kind of stuff, then it's only a matter of time before robots
before a Terminator throws you out your house. I wouldn't be surprised they're trying to fix something like that. Well, build something like that.
Yeah, in technological unemployment, when too many jobs have been phased out by machines, that's going to be fascism against the poor. I'm sorry, but that's in a system like this, in a capitalistic system. That's the outcome. That's the only outcome I can see for things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of how predatory that capitalism is. Capitalism is at its core. It's not very how can I put this?
It's a malicious. Malicious is the right word.
It doesn't police itself, you know what I mean? That's the problem with capitalism. It doesn't self-regulate, you know what I mean? That's why I get angry when Stephen Molyneux keeps on putting that garbage about.
You need some almond milk.
Yeah.
No. That's why I get angry about Stephen Molyneux when he says stupid things like, "Oh, we should get rid of taxation and still have a capitalistic system, to get rid of safety nets and all that stuff, and just screw the poor," you know?
Yep.
I get angry about that because he is forgetting what that would do to the poorest people, you know? You can't just let millions of people starve and become desperate enough to, you know, steal or whatever they're going to do to try to survive, you know.
Yep.
and then the rest of them that ain't gonna commit crimes, well, they're just gonna starve to death or freeze out in the cold, or because they've got no home, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Taking away their social security if they can't find a job, they're pretty much done for.
Yeah.
And Stefan Molyneux keeps on saying that we should have a charity system or whatever, right?
But charity system, but it's not working.
Exactly. Charity by itself can't solve these problems. Does he understand how overburdened the food banks are in the UK?
Yeah.
Does he even understand that shit? He clearly doesn't understand that human nature is so flawed to the point where not enough people give to charity because people are just too selfish.
Yeah.
People are way too selfish. That's why charity won't work, because it goes against human nature. You can't rely on charity to solve that problem. It's just not going to work. That's why after World War II, Britain, developed safety nets and public health care.
Yep.
Because they know that certain people, like the disabled or kids or whatever, they needed support from the government in order to stay alive.
Yep.
That's why it was created. That's why we have a thing called welfare. It wasn't because.
Yeah, charity. I'm not knocking what they do. Like I said, we're not knocking what they do.
But it goes against.
Yeah.
It goes against human nature, man. You know what I mean? I understand that charity organisations are doing their best to help the poor and stuff, but they've only got so many resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not enough people donate to charity, man. There's too much fraud in charity for a start. Some people use it to scam people.
Yep.
And you can't simply rely on people's goodwill to solve this. You have to do better than that. I've always seen that charity was a flawed system, man. I've always seen it that way.
Yeah.
Ever since I learned about the reasons why we have a social security system in the UK, I saw that as a superior method to charity, because it is. It's protected more of the severely disabled from absolute hardship than charity ever has. We need the Human Rights Act. We need it. It's the only thing stopping the Tories from screwing the poor completely. I know what I said about the resource-based economy and stuff, but we're not in the resource-based economy yet, are we? So.
Nowhere near.
No. As of now, the resource-based economy is hypothetical. Yeah. It hasn't happened yet, and probably won't happen for a very long time. Yeah. It will be nice.
Excuse me, if it happens.
Yeah, if it happens, yeah. It would be nice if it did happen, but then again, the people who are going to live on Mars, the astronauts who, are going to get sent there for the manned Martian. Yeah. When was the manned Martian mission supposed to be?
I didn't look that up.
Yeah. Well, if they do a money-based system on Mars, they would have proved the RBE skeptics wrong,
Yeah.
They would have proved them wrong outright. And it can be done on Earth. It's just that people just, they're too stubborn or they're too flawed in their thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get there now. Certainly not now, because even if people agree to it, it will still take a long time to implement.
Yeah. First of all, we gotta become more united and unanimous, man.
Yeah. What? I like to think of it as a stepping stone type thing. You know, you need to get there by a gradual process. You know?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. You know, you have to start by thinking every human has equal rights. You know? There's certain unalienable rights. You know.
Yeah.
Which is what the Constitution was supposed to help you with. Yeah? The Constitution does protect you to a certain degree, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
And nothing in this world is. You know, nothing's perfect.
Nope.
There's certain. In order to get to that type of society that I was talking about, we have to come to an agreement that, you know, every human's got rights. You know. A right to food, a right to medicine, a right to shelter, a right to, and safety from discrimination. Yeah, like LGBT and all that stuff, or women. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nasty. When women or you
Yeah.
know,
People talk about women get paid equal right. Yeah. I would say this. If the woman starts a job and a dude starts a job, they should get the same rate. I'm not talking about the men and women that's been there for a minute, that you just starting there, you getting the same rate. No, I'm talking about when you start a job, you get the same rate as everybody else.
yeah,
When they started.
yep,
Damn. The second one that broke already.
yeah.
Sorry, fellas, I thought I heard lava.
Mhm.
I'm digging. I'm strip mining and I thought I heard lava.
Yeah,
I was listening out for it.
yeah. We may not get to a resource-based economy, or we may do at some point in the distant future. But at the moment, we have problems that do need solving within a monetary system. You know?
Yep.
Like poverty, for example. You know, I certainly don't see Stefan Molyneux's I don't see his ideas being workable. You know. There's no example in history of his ideas working. Man. His ideas just won't work. He relies too much on human nature and goodwill. You know, that's not how humans are. They've never, you know, humans are just too.
I knew I heard lava.
Yeah. I don't mean to sound like I'm like, you know, being a dick here or anything, but there's too many people on this planet who don't think like you and me. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They're psychopaths, and not all of them are in prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that people need protection from those sort of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anarcho-capitalism would be predatory. It will be obscene to see that kind of society happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many homeless people would there be in that kind of world? Yeah.
I can use this.
Dude, listen. in anarcho-capitalism, right, which is what Stefan Molyneux promotes.
Yeah.
How many homeless people do you reckon there will be in that kind of society? I'll tell you, there will be a lot. Trust me.
Yep. Yes, there will be.
It'll just be shit. His ideas are just not workable, you know.
Yeah.
And the advocates of resource-based economy from Venus Project, or critics of Jacques Fresco, they accuse his ideas of being unworkable, right? Well, what about Stefan Molyneux's? You know? His ideas are so much worse. Yeah.
Yep.
He's basically saying, fuck the poor, they don't deserve a right to live. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you're not lucky, if you're not lucky enough to receive charity, or if you can't get a job, you know, then he's basically saying, tough, you know, life's hard and you're gonna die.
Yep.
That's what he's saying, you know.
Pretty
way.
much.
I listened to one of the podcasts he did with somebody about, you know, social security or, you know, welfare or whatever, right? He advocates for it to be ended completely, you know. He doesn't even see things like disability or, you know, injury or temporary unemployment when people become redundant of work, you know. He doesn't see like that as a justification for a safety net, you know.
Yeah.
That's his problem. Yeah. There's a lot of things that can happen to people that will make them too ill to work. You know?
Yep.
Or they can just get laid off because their business failed.
Or fired for bullshit reasons. That happens to me so many times.
Yeah, people get laid off work and stuff, you know. Either because the business folded or because they had an issue with their employer. Yeah.
Yep.
So what do we do with those people? Do we just say, oh fuck you? You know, we're not going to give you a house. We're not going to give you. You know, some kind of compensation for the fact that you ain't got an income coming in at the moment. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And here's another thing they should do.
Right.
If you decide to go back to school, you should get compensated for that while you're in school for making an attempt.
Yeah. Well, it depends if they need the assistance or not, because not everyone needs that kind of assistance, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, this cover actually, that's hard to say, but you know.
Yeah. It depends if they got some like money to fall back on, you know.
Yep.
But if it's the poorest people, no, they certainly don't have the assets to, you know, fall back on if times get tough and they lose their job or, you know.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a safety net for those people in times of need, you know.
Yeah.
I don't mean to go around in circles here, man, but you know. Why does Stefan Molyneux have such a large following, man? You know, he's so delusional, yet he gets so many followers.
I can kind of see why. Too many people think like he does. That's why.
But his ideas are not workable, man. They're unworkable, dude.
I know that. But the people who watch his show, however, they don't.
You know, the Tories in the UK, they're enacting his exact policies. The things that he wants, privatisation and the collapse of the welfare system and stuff like that, the things that he advocates, right, the Tories in Britain are actually putting into place little by little. They're doing it incrementally, so people don't, get up and revolt and, trash out Parliament or whatever. You know what I mean? They're doing it slowly. They're privatizing the system very slowly in little increments. This is why the NHS is having to sell off assets to Virgin, because they can't cope with them. They've got a deficit.
I found diamonds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They've got a deficit that needs paying the NHS, right? Because the government's not funding them enough.
Yeah.
This is what happens when people like Stefan Molyneux get into power.
Exactly.
So I have to ask, people who support Stefan Molyneux, right? I question their morality. It's a question of ethics here. I'm questioning whose side are you really on when you support the exact policies that Stefan Molyneux advocates. Yeah. Are you in favor of human rights or the top 1%? Yeah.
Anybody to do that has to be a part of this.
I'm sorry, but I have to question their moral character. You know what I mean? When they support Stefan Molyneux, I have to question their way of thinking.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Because his sadistic policies are actually being enacted in both the United States and Britain. Yeah. Slowly, a piece at a time. Yeah. Which is why people are losing their Medicaid in the United States. How can they sit there with a straight face and tell a child that they don't have a right to a warm home, safe from abuse, safe from discrimination. It's not just emotional either. It's these are problems that have to be solved. Yeah.
Okay, I can't go that way. Apparently. But
Yeah. So yeah, it's a question of moral character. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I know. I understand. There's too much lava around here. I gotta make another path. Yeah, I'm about to switch games in a few minutes.
Yeah. Oh, about climate change, right?
Yeah.
I liked your video. I find it ironic that Stefan Molyneux advocates abolishing taxation, but then again, he goes around saying stupid stuff like the resource-based economy won't work.
Yep.
That's ironic. It's just. For a guy who supposedly hates taxes, right? Who hates interference from the government in the economy. For a guy who hates that kind of stuff, you sure talk a lot of rubbish. You know what I mean?
He does.
Yeah. Stefan Molyneux is just, he's a pseudo-intellectual, man. There's no other word I can think for him, man. He's a pseudo-intellectual.
I know what's funny. Even though I don't think he's gonna be into Minecraft that much, I kind of want him to come here and try to make a reply.
No,
Asshole.
no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't see his methods as a solution either. You know what I mean? If you get rid of like welfare, or get rid of like public healthcare and stuff like that, right? In a capitalistic system, I'm talking about, not resource-based economy. That's different. But if you get rid of those things in a capitalistic system where there's money,
Yeah.
that's not going to work. Right? There's going to be some people who need that support, and if they don't get that support, they're going to be fucked. You know?
Yep.
Stefan Molyneux, like, why won't he? Why won't he look into these things? Why won't he do his research? You know,
Yeah. Nobody.
if the NHS got privatized in the UK, right? Let me make an example. If the NHS got privatized, right? Just say for example, if it happened tomorrow, right? Then what would happen to those elderly people or whoever is sick or injured in there who needs the treatment, right? What will happen to those patients if they can't afford their treatment? Yeah, they'll finish their surgery on them or whatever they need, right? But they're going to get into debt because they can be whacked with, you know, expensive bills that they can't pay off. You know.
Yeah.
Or some people won't get healthcare full stop because they'll see that it's expensive but they can't afford it, so they just perish because they don't get the treatment that they need for, say, cancer, for example. If they need a cancer removing or whatever, you know.
And like I said, man, shit like that, man. And like I said, I feel like I said, man, all the resources should be dedicated into getting, you know, looking at how to cure shit like that, you know.
But instead it goes on to war and, you know, other crap. Yeah, I gotta say this, man. It's not looking good with that whole Brexit thing in the UK, man. As soon as that Brexit thing takes effect, I reckon the Conservatives would, you know, privatise the NHS most likely.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
They're the same arseholes that they've always been. They haven't changed. You know. They've been that way since Margaret Thatcher, man, apparently. But yeah, you know, dumb people still keep voting for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of vulnerable people, including kids, are going to go without healthcare because of these, you know, because of these arseholes.
Yeah.
They even appointed, right, someone who wants to privatise the NHS, right? He'd written a book saying he wanted to privatise it. His name was Jeremy Hunt, right? They even appointed him as, I think he's like the head of the NHS, right?
Yeah.
They put him in charge of that stuff, you know what I mean? They put him in charge of that shit. Outgone them, you know what I mean? So what does that tell us? You know what I mean? It means that they want to privatise the fucking healthcare system. You you know, because it's selfish. They want to give all these tax breaks to all these billionaires, you know, and they don't care who gets hurt, you know. And I would just say to Stefan Molyneux, look, this is what your ideology is doing to people. This is what you support. You support privatization. You support getting rid of safety nets. Now look at what it's doing to these fucking people, right? Including those homeless kids, right, who had to be out in the cold on Christmas in the UK. Yeah. Thousands of kids were homeless or lived in homeless shelters, right? Because of the cuts the DWP were doing to Social Security, you know. It's not right, man. You know, it's gone topsy turvy here, man.
Yeah.
How can it be right that that rich people have so much, yet there's so many people in the world that have so little?
Yeah, they won't get shit.
Yeah. A safe, warm house is a human right.
Yep.
I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, but according to a couple jackasses out there, oh, they gotta work for it. Life is hard, deal with it.
It's all well and good saying that, but what about the kids? You know,
Yep.
they can't work. Kids at the age of 5 can't work, certainly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they have to be given some sort of like shelter to keep them warm and, you know, safe from illness, I suppose.
Yep.
You know, but then again, you're never completely safe from illness anyway. Like, there's always going to be pathogens, you know.
Yep.
But if the NHS gets privatised, I'll just say to Stefan Molyneux, this is what your ideology is causing. Are you still a far-right libertarian? Do you still support abolishing public services in light of all this stuff that's happening to the most vulnerable? And if he replies yes, then I'll just say to him, he's a cunt. He's a fucking cunt. Yeah? So he doesn't give a shit about anyone apart from his backwards ideology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking that free markets alone can solve all these problems. How delusional do people have to be to think that capitalism can solve all these problems by itself? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, man.
Yeah.
Capitalism alone, they think that's the magic no. Capitalism, in fact, I can argue, capitalism is the reason why we have climate change.
Well, it's
One
motivated.
theory.
It's motivated the companies to do that kind of stuff, like you know, polluting. You know. See, the problem with the monetary system is it also rewards bad behaviour as well. You know, that's why we have a thing called black markets. The reason why we have black markets is because, you know, money talks, unfortunately. Yeah. People with the fattest wallets have the most power. Yeah. Yeah, it's not your fault that we're that we've got this problem with Brexit looming over us in the UK, man. It's not
Yeah.
your fault.
I know, man.
Yeah, so many people will lie to you, man. They were conned.
Yep.
But-
Yo, I'm getting so much flint down here.
Yep.
Okay, I found some more iron, but yeah.
Yeah, Brexiteers, man, they don't want to admit that they've been conned, that they've been lied to. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, I think I said this in your other video, where the Tories, right? They went and did that red bus thing, like it was on one of the news articles I've looked up, right? Saying that we give like 350 million pounds sterling to the EU, right? And it said, let's fund the NHS and vote leave, right? That's what people feel for. But so many years later, right? What did the Tories do? They spent £400 million on blue passports, you know, instead of like helping our homeless kids, you know.
Yeah.
They wasted that much money on doing that stuff, while telling us that we were wasting money on it, supposedly wasting money on the EU, yeah. But they couldn't be more hypocritical, you know. They couldn't be more hypocritical than that.
I know.
And people seem to forget that the perks we do get from the EU, you know.
Yeah.
I think because of human rights, we get like, you know, protection against discrimination and that type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And without the Human Rights Act, we can't get free legal representation in court, yeah? Which means, as I was saying to Anthony, right, how's his mum going to win her tribunal for a pension, right? If we no longer have the EU Human Rights Act, how's she gonna get legal representation to fight her case, yeah?
Yeah. Thought I heard lava. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah. And health and safety regulations, we need them to. It's only because of regulations like that that we're able to find companies like Thames Water for dumping untreated sewage into our, you know, public waters.
Yep.
Yeah. So, because otherwise they'll just do it again, like they did with that contamination of river and beaches and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
When I found out that Thames Water did that, it dumped untreated sewage into public open water areas, like, you know,
Yeah.
beaches and whatnot, I was livid, you know. There's kids who come into contact with that stuff, you know what I mean? Beach water or whatever it is, a stream or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If a child comes into contact with that type of stuff, raw sewage, you know what's going to happen to them. If it weren't for the EU health and safety laws, we wouldn't be able to bring these people to court, you know, for that.
Yeah.
There'll be no regulations against that sort of stuff. They'll be able to pollute when they want, whenever they want, and we won't see any justice for it, you know.
Nope, you wouldn't.
So there are some perks of being in the EU on top of the billions we get in Euro funding, you know, for scientific research. You know, did I mention that we get billions in scientific research funding?
Yep. See, fellas, anybody is listening, you're learning something new every day.
Yep. So there are perks for remaining in the EU.
Yep.
So with all that considered, it's favourable that the UK remains in the EU. Yeah.
Yep.
But no, these Brexiteers say, "Oh no, we need to get back our sovereignty." Blah blah blah. Okay. We've not had our sovereignty for a very long time, and this was before we even became part of the European Union. You know.
Yep.
We weren't a world superpower for a very long time. That died, you know, so many years ago, man. We've not been a world superpower since World War II, you know. If it weren't for our allies, right, we would have lost that war.
Yep.
So the UK is not a superpower, and it hasn't been for such a long time. It's such nonsense to say Brexit will be enough to make us a superpower again. That's bullshit. You know? If anything, Britain is weaker without the EU. You know?
Yeah.
Because our military is separate. You know? Our military will be separate from the European Union, and that means we'll be in an even worse position to defend ourselves if another world war were to happen. You know? We've still got Kim Jong-un prick to worry about from North Korea. Yeah.
And that other idiot,
Mm-hmm.
who would not be named, who would not refuse to name or mention. But yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to send you that link later on. I found a source. I forgot the name of it, but I will find you it.
Alright.
It tells you about the science projects that the European Union funds for, you know, Britain. You know. People seem to overlook this stuff, you know. It's just.
Yeah.
And as I was telling Anthony on Twitter, how can he win his case, like, in court, or more to the point, his mother, right? How can his mother win a case for her pension, right, if she doesn't have legal representation? Yeah.
Exactly. Alright, I'm back.
Yeah, about climate change, right? I liked your video when you talked about climate change the last one.
Yep.
This congressman brought in a snowball to try and disprove climate change.
I know.
Oh, man.
I found some diamonds. I lost some because the lava flow was behind it. I managed to grab one before the lava got it, though.
Yeah, what you should do is you should dig around the ores before you pick them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do. That way the lava don't destroy them.
Yeah. But the lava did manage to destroy a few of them.
Yeah, so be careful next time.
Yeah.
But I would like to say to that congressman who threw that snowball at... Did he throw that snowball at Donald Trump?
I don't know who he put it at. It was an old video. I saw him do it. I just got infuriated. Like, yo, really?
It was stupid what you said, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, of course you got a snowball. It's called winter, that's why. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's climate change does not mean we won't have winter.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like I said before I cut this off, this winter was cold as shit. It's cold as fuck outside. You know how cold it was today? 16
What?
fucking degrees. The whole week it was like 16 degrees. Next day 14 degrees. Next day 15 degrees. Next day 18 degrees. That's not normal.
Fahrenheit.
That's not normal in Philly.
Fahrenheit?
Yes.
Yeah, what would that be in Celsius? It's definitely going to be in the minus for Celsius, right?
Yeah, I'm using Fahrenheit. I forgot to use Celsius. But yeah. It's not supposed to be that cold. Then next week, next Friday, you know what temperature is going to be?
What?
Fahrenheit, 60 degrees. Almost 60. That's...
And someone please explain to these Congress idiots.
Not normal. Not normal.
Right, listen. Someone please explain to these Congress idiots, right, the difference between weather and climate. Yeah.
You can't explain it though. Too dense.
Because climate's a long-term, that's the long-term weather, the long-term conditions, yeah. Or the consistency of a weather over a long period, as I stated on Twitter. Whereas weather is just the current conditions. Yeah? Is it cloudy? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it rainy? You know, that's the current weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the consistency of, say, temperatures over time, like a period of 10 years, that'll be your climate. Yeah.